Good morning. We made it through all of our technical difficulties. Uh, so thank you so much. This is already episode 4, and this is going to come out next week, but we're taping on Black Hoodie Friday. So, and look, you even showed up in your black. So, episode 4 is having coffee this morning with my friend and mentor and supporter, Christine. And I was thinking about every time I come on with someone, I always try to think about like how long we've known each other. And I don't know, it's weird. Like I feel like everybody who's been coming on, it's been within this like 10, at least 10 or 12 years that I've been knowing them. Which does not feel like 10 or 12 years. I'm like, where did the time go? And
Yeah.
I think, if I recollect, it was through meditation that I first met you. And I remember we were in this big group doing this training, and it was after lunch, and you came over and you gifted me these oracle cards. And it was just like kind of random and like out of the blue. And you're like, I think these are for you. And I was just like, oh, okay. Wow. And it was years like I think that's how I thought what you did, meditation and things like that. And then someone had said to me, you know what Christine does, right? And I'm like, no. And that's when I was introduced to the transformational cellular healing because they had kind of like I always like trust when someone puts a bug in my ear that I'm supposed to, and you know this because I feel
Yeah.
like telepathy, you and me and telepathy are often in sync, but I trusted that. And I remember going over to your acreage because we live in the Bermuda Triangle of healers. And yeah, that was such an amazing an experience. And I think that mentorship and friendship and support like totally helped me. Like this, I call this birth your medicine with Lesley, but I think you like having that experience and experiences with you helped me to also birth my medicine as well. So that was amazing to just so never think you know what someone does because there's been a few times in my life where I think I know what someone does, and then I find out later they have this other little magic up their sleeve. Now,
Oh,
what is your recollection of that? Am I out to lunch on any of
no, no,
it?
I think you got it. I did forget about the gift, the Oracle card gift, but when you spoke about it, it did jog my memory of getting that download. Yeah, it was our meditation teacher training. I
Mhm.
think that was the original connection, although I had seen you out and about in the ethers going, doing your medicine and your work out there. And yeah, it was such an honor to be able to sit and like be part of your journey of, you
Mhm.
know, uh, creating, birthing, bringing the woo out to the world, so to speak.
Ooh. I love it.
And of course, deep gratitude to be able to be walking this journey
Mhm.
with you and bringing the word, and whatever else needs to come through
Mhm.
for people to remember their medicine, their magic, their miraculous nature.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which is the transformational healing. And so, yeah, it's not something that I walk around going blah 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 blah, and yet I'm getting the call. Hence, when Lesley says, "Hey, do you want to come on to my podcast?" and I'm going, "Yes, I
And what are we going to
will."
talk about?
And that's it. Like it's just bringing that message out, and I really feel
Mhm.
that, especially
Yeah.
at this time that we're in this.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that I like recognize about you the most too. And I mean, I'm sure we'll find lots of different pockets of your medicine, but I think one of the things that I see about your medicine is like, you listen. Like, when spirit gives you a message, you listen. And I always laugh because we'll go for, like, weeks or months without being in contact, and all of a sudden you'll call me, you'll be like, Leslie, I was thinking about you today, and, you popped into my mind, and, you need to be here at this time," or Leslie, you popped into my mind and I'm going to be coming over to one of your healing circles. And that's the one thing I noticed. Like, you always just listen and then like check in. And that's that little telepathy thing I think that we share. Because you'll pop into my mind and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there she is. She's like, oh, by the way, I'm having a healing circle on Tuesday. I was like, okay, of course you are.
Come, come.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Do you think you
yeah.
are always like that? Or can you or do you think there was a point in your life where you trusted that more?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, you know,
Mm,
like I was climbing trees in my backyard and having full-on communication with the trees and the little, nature spirits that I loved in
mm,
up in northern Alberta where I lived with my family. But what? When I was, I guess, at high school, I started shutting that down and
mhm,
wanting to be normal and like all the other kids and didn't want to be weird. And then when my mom passed in 94, it really kind of amped up the volume of
mm,
my abilities. I can't explain it much, but it just felt like there was a transference of medicine that she was carrying that came more
mm,
alive in me, where it was like, pay attention, listen, you've got things to
mm,
do, and your family needs your hooked up guidance, basically. So I think there
mm.
was a kind of a dial up there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
You
especially
see
in,
that so often,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
people have like some sort of an event, whether it's losing someone or an accident or something, and all of a sudden it shifts something for them where they're I don't know if it's trusting themselves more or if it does actually like shift into that frequency of something different.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love helping people activate that and turn that on for
Mm,
themselves, which is part of the medicine that I do bring is
yeah.
that like removing the blocks and all the gick that gets in the way of us hooked up with a clarity, you know. So
Yeah.
anyway, I love watching people's like lights turn back on and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, I'm getting like clear guidance and messages are coming through." And I'm going, "Yeah, it's because all that other stuff was in the way, you know?"
Hmm. And
So,
I think that's the parts where you and I like connect so much because we're wanting to help people like find that for themselves because we already know it's in there. We can see
yeah.
that, and it's not for us to like take their and it's like, "No, no, let's how can we show them that they have this?" And they sometimes just need that little bit of guidance, and it's I think that's my favorite thing about doing this work is to be able to see people just step into their power or have those aha moments of like, "Who, me?" Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that you bring that up about being a kid too, because I wonder, and maybe you'll even remember, like if at that time you thought like, oh, everyone does this, and then it was just so normal, and then yeah, those teenage years where it's like, maybe everyone doesn't do this.
Yeah. And being the youngest in a family of five, I was always, tuned in to my sisters and brother and like, mom and dad and like navigating being the baby and like, you know, and so I
Mm,
was like just aware of, okay, well, it's a community. You're like navigating a community situation. So for me, it was like, oh, mom's out in the garden, and I would just tune into it when I was little, figuring out where everybody is in my spatial connection. And I didn't know that people didn't know that. how to do that,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't until later where people would go, "What do you mean? You can see that? What do you mean? You can feel that?" You know? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't okay, maybe I
Yeah.
won't say that anymore.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. That happens so many times. But I honestly believe that that is our like innate like way of being. I think there were I think every human being like connected and communicated in that way long before all the noise, like you said, when you have to clear up the sludge and the noise, long before that. And the thing, I think this is another thing you and I have in common, the fact that you grew up in northern Alberta, I grew up in southern Saskatchewan, and nature was like so supportive. Like we were outside all the time. The only time cartoons came on was Saturday morning. So
that's
you
it.
might catch that for an hour or two. But other than that, you were barefoot, you were, making mud pies, all of those different things. So it was that felt natural to me to just be supported by nature all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, 100%. I didn't want to be inside.
Mhm.
Well, except for I did have a love of reading. So I read
Mhm.
everything. Like, my mom's Christian books, my brother's science fiction and fantasy books, thank God it's me, Margaret, or dear God, that what oh, I don't know, I changed the title of that book there. Anyway, um, and so reading really was expansive as well, and I had a,
Mhm.
a wonderful teacher in grade six. I think I was about 11 or 12 years old, and she just instilled that in me. She gave me The Hobbit, and she just got me started in a magical realm of imagination,
Mm.
which also heightened up my ability to have that communication because that's it. The language is through our imagination, our imaginal realm. So,
Yeah.
again, having that activated. One of my favorite things, Lesley, was this story that David Suzuki, who is our
Oh.
a naturalist here in Canada, a really famous naturalist. Anyway, he he said that he would run inside the house with muddy feet, holding something that he found out in the pond or whatever, and his mom never seen any of the mud and the dirt and the mess. She would just look at him and say, "David, what treasures have you found today? What did you
Mm.
share with me? What did you find?" And so that curiosity,
Mm.
that that was encouraged by his mother, and so that kind of energy was involved in my family upbringing as well. So, mom
Wow.
being like curious, like tell me, share with me, like that family connection time. And I know
Yeah.
as a mama of three, um, they share when they're at ease and sitting around a table, comfort,
Mhm.
and like there's something about that curiosity and openness and imagination that keeps that intuitive
Yeah.
thing going,
I wish that that's something that I would have fostered more when my kids were younger because,
Mm.
the glitter would come out, the glue would come out, the mud would come in, and I'd be so fixated on the cleanup. I now realize, now that I've done a lot of work on my nervous system, I now realize that I was navigating from a place of like my nervous system was
Yeah.
trying to create control. Um, but yeah, I was talking about that with my kids too, just about like how things have changed now that my nervous system is and it's just like, oh well, yeah, I'll vacuum later. Whereas before it was like, get outside, don't come in with that or trying to keep everything clean. But you're right. It's not, it's about that curiosity of like messiness even. that there doesn't have to be that place of perfection. Like you think about when you're a kid and you go out and you pick dandelions for your mom, right? You're just picking all these beautiful flowers. And then years later, you're trying to make sure your lawn looks pristine and it's green without those beautiful flowers. Like, when did we lose that, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, and that's my mission actually, being a grandma of two super curious, creative, spicy grandkids.
I love it. Um,
Is staying in that like, oh, okay, yeah, later. Right now, what do we need to do to foster that, right? To, like you
yeah,
said, like to keep that going and alive,
yeah,
and it's a mission of mine. I worked in I was teaching, guiding in sports and recreational activities for 30 plus years for children, but specifically preschoolers and parented programs. And I was watching that intuition with some of them, and where it wasn't, where it was like tempered or dampened, or
mm,
like always looking externally for the okayness. And I think that that's where I kind of got my bigger training ground for, okay, I need to keep this alive for all of us because our children inside of us need that,
yeah,
whether
yeah,
nervous system regulation or the feeling of safety, of trusting of the self, of following that internal guidance system, whatever that is. And so I find that that was my training ground as an instructor, a
mm,
facilitator of these thousands and thousands and thousands of kids. Like I used to get 120 new kids every 3 months as I was teaching, guiding sports, gymnastics, and programs.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, how can I transfer that over to now where I'm like really
mm,
dedicated to the intuitive arts, to the ancient arts, and bringing that wisdom back for the modern times that we're living in, and the kids and us as parents or caregivers.
yeah,
It's it was work, but it was worthwhile work. It was work, but it's
mm,
worthwhile work to okay, this was the training ground now. Let's
yeah,
keep curious about how to do that for
yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just love that word curious keeps coming up because
Yeah.
I think about that too. Sometimes people think about these things as like failure or like, oh, I went down this path for too long or this path for too long. But I'm like you. I look at my, you know, university years. Yeah, I have a degree in social work and native studies and psychology, and I'm not necessarily doing that but all of it came with me, and it now influences the way that doing the thing that you're doing now. So nothing, I think nothing is ever a waste of time or learning because there's always going to be some sort of nugget or thing that you don't even think is connected, but is helping you to see a situation differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh. I
Yeah.
remember you talking about your lineage. And you mentioned it, but just before about with your mom's passing, you noticed that something shifted and dialed in. Is that when you started to kind of recognize that maybe some of that medicine was always in your like maternal lineage?
Uh, I I don't know when I recognized it. I just remember over, you know, even being, I don't know. So my mom had this ability, we'll call it an ability, and she used to uh, do these card readings with regular playing cards. So her friends would come over, her sisters would come over, and I'd be a wee little person and sitting under the table and playing with my Barbies or whatever. And my mom would be doing these card readings for the ladies that came over. And they set it up like they were playing a game of rummy. So she would put the card readings in a certain way that if anybody were to come into the room, let's say back in the day, they must have known this from hiding it to keep it alive and the wisdom there.
Mm,
But she would
right.
pick them up, they would pick it up like they were playing a card game, right?
Yeah,
Anyway, I diverged there.
that's
Um,
neat.
but my grandmother had a dream manual that was handwritten in the back of her recipe books. She would be able to tell people what their dreams meant. She would have like this medicine knowledge of what to put in her homemade root beer because it would help people more than just their digestive system. It would, you know, it was the
Yeah.
intention that they would be putting in behind it, right?
Wow.
Oh, this is going to help and heal my family. And although I didn't know that I was taking that in, it was not until years later that I really realized that
Mhm.
that had started a foundation within me that I wasn't aware of. And so later on, when I started pursuing more training in the intuitive arts, meditation, yoga, like Reiki and all of these different modalities, I realized I already had that base. And so to
Mhm.
have that there, as well as a love for my Christian teachings as well. Even though I didn't throw the baby, the bathwater, and the bathtub out, I kept those seed teachings of, be kind to one another,
Yeah.
have compassion for each other. Those kinds of teachings were formative within the mysticism that I also
Mm.
was taking in. So my grandmother had it. Lots of our external family had it. They just called it different things. That's all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not
And
Reiki, it was hands-on healing, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I again, and that reminds me that it's like without training, it was just so innate for them. They
Yeah.
just it was just like, oh, well, this, like you said, oh,
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to put in here, and oh, this is where I'm going to put my hands, or it, and I love that there is that remembering, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for so many people, um, and again, there's that piece where, you're growing up in where you're like, okay, this is just normal, like in my family, and then I go to someone else's house when we're kids, and we're like, oh, your family doesn't do it like this? Interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Those moments when you get that first realization that like, oh, maybe
Oh,
we do things differently around here.
we're not the same. We're not the
Yeah.
same.
Oh,
Yeah, like I mean, my mom's family, there was 16. So, I mean, when they came over from Quebec to Alberta, yeah, they needed a whole train car for their family for that.
wow.
It was
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't know. Like not everybody has this big fat French family full of like loud, wonderful, wacky wildness with lots of food and music and dancing and praying and all the things, but no, not everybody did have that kind of makeup. My dad
Wow.
too, he came from a family of 11. They were loggers and carpenters and from Manitoba. So,
Mm.
yeah, we have yeah, all kinds of
Multicultural.
yes, totally.
But I think you've even like anytime if anyone watching this, they will say yes to this as well. But anytime you have any sort of retreat or transformational Tuesday or anything like that, food is also the center of your love and medicine.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to one of your events where I haven't left feeling like fully nourished. And you're like making up a pot of stew or soup or, and so even that little thing that, was really important to your family. You've brought
Yeah.
that into your like healing arts now.
You're making me tear up. Yeah, it was medicine.
Mhm.
It was medicine, you know, to feel. welcome to the table.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was my mom's. Oh, I still miss her so much. And it's been 32 years since she's been gone. And as a young woman with two small kids, that was the thing that I missed the most, you know.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lesley. Oh,
We never know what's going to come up
oh,
on these chat.
but that's just it. And so that medicine of welcoming nourishment, I feel safe, I feel held, I feel enveloped and welcomed here is part of that nervous system relaxing so that we can feel safe to let go of those blocks, stops, or anything that we're holding onto the crunchy bits that are maybe restricting that intuitive flow of who we are and our naturalness, our natural ability to be plugged into our intuitive guidance system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, the food is medicine for me. And, you know, and I'm a Cancerian, so I really, I mean, that's part of my love language.
Ooh.
Food.
Yeah. And that, that's the beauty too of when you're having days like, there's this space of like the time to like do the work. And then there's like that piece of like the food and the nourishment. But the conversations that happen between people during that 1 hour or 45 minutes that you're kind of taking a break, it's phenomenal. I've witnessed so many connections, and I've also been at your and that's where nuggets have dropped into me where someone's like, "Oh, I mean, that was the family constellation stuff for me." Someone was like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And I'm just like, "Oh, no, I didn't hear about it." And then the next time I was at your place, like, "Oh, are you going to that family constellation?" And so it was just in those moments where we weren't necessarily working, but just having conversation that these little nuggets drop in because you're with people that are also very like-minded and open to these different conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, the work doesn't ever stop.
Yeah.
It's not something I do anymore. I feel like I've embodied a lot and incorporated a lot of it. And so it's something I am now. Like it's whether I'm walking with somebody or sitting down and having a coffee with someone without termin terming it any kind of a name of, okay, we're having a session or we're doing this
Yeah.
modality or any of that. It's something just happens. It's
Mhm.
it's who we are. And I know that about you too. You know,
Yeah.
it's just something that now happens, whether you're meaning to, even when I'm sitting with my kids and we're having some conversations and chatting about, next steps for work or getting our hair done, you know,
Yeah.
it's still happening, whether we're having lunch and tea or if we're
Yeah.
sitting down delving into some of that old things that need to be excavated.
Mhm. That was my biggest thing about when I created my birth your medicine mentorship. That was the biggest thing that I wanted people to realize is like just to be this every single day, wake up and be in relationship with the sunset, wake up and oh, there's a bird it's sitting on my like what is it trying to, and it's not just about these pockets of, oh, I meditate 20 minutes in the morning, and oh, I have this session at this. It's like, no, can you live your life from this? In my mind right now, it just keeps coming up that story about that walk when you guys were walking in is it the dog park by Sherwood Park? And
Oh,
the and it was
and
the
the
owl.
owl. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Me and
yeah.
my friend Lanny went for a walk, another medicine woman there. And I've walked there for the last 15 years. I've went for walks in this natural area out here by my place. And we're about, I don't know, about 10 minutes in, and all of a sudden we just felt this like woof, woof. And we kind of looked behind us, and this huge, big gray owl. Like, you've not even seen any of that ever in this area. I've heard owls. And it sat there and it landed on the tree in front of us. And we both looked at each other and we looked at this owl and we're going, what is happening right now? What is going on? And it literally didn't move, just blinked its eyes and stared at us for 15 minutes. It was like there was this transmission. It did not, it didn't waver. Just this wisdom was like emanating from the, and we were just like in awe, like we're just like, oh, okay. Like things are going on here beyond what anything that we could even fathom to know or
Yeah.
but the trust that that was exactly when we were meant to be there, to
Hmm.
have that meeting, that sacred meeting with this messenger from the divine, basically.
Yeah.
And it was it was still there when we came back from our walk, and it was like blinked at us and we're going, okay, well, have a nice day. Like I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I just love when those things happen and that and I wonder is do you feel because this is how I feel because I'm so much more present that with myself and where I am, I see these things a lot more. Whereas I feel, I don't know, even maybe even 5 years ago, maybe longer than that, I felt like I was always just in this tunnel, just going, and I
Mm,
didn't really see out here. If I was driving or if I was walking or anything. And now I'm just like, you just see the most amazing things sometimes. Like when I was driving the one day and I saw a coyote sitting next to a fence post and a raven sitting on top of the fence post. And they're both just sitting there, right there. And I'm watching them and I'm like, oh yeah, they met up. Like I just had this feeling like they met up, and I thought it's the most weirdest, random things. And I posted about it, and so many people were saying, yeah, it's weird. You know, I've noticed that before, where I've saw a bunny and a bird sitting in the middle of the field, and they say to me, do you think they like met and conversed? I'm like, I think so. Like I just think that there's so many of these things, whereas previously I probably missed, like I probably just drove by and didn't even notice it.
yeah. 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 That heightened connection to, oh, there's a bigger conversation with the universe going on here. Oh, and look, I'm starting to notice that these are things that are happening, and is there a message in it for me to take away was what
Mm,
I went with, like, the owl is one of those things. Is there a message in there that is meant for me? What are you trying to say to me? If if this is all information and this is
mhm.
all and I'm all connected, if I'm connected to it and I can see and witness it, what is
Yeah.
it for me to take away? And where can I, implement this guidance? I always find that as guidance. Sometimes it's humor. Sometimes the universe sends me jokes too. Let's just be honest.
I've seen that. I've seen that before when we've been working together, and then you were just like, "What?" Huh? Okay, I'll leave that
I,
one over there.
I think it's because the universe is going, okay, drop the seriosity here. There's a lightheartedness about this communication too, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that word. I
Yeah.
remember I had healing circle, and I mean, you may have used that word hundreds of times before, but it was the first time I heard you say it, and we were in healing circle in my medicine tent, and you said that. You said, "Yeah, it's time to lose the curiosity." And I freaking love that word because to me it does. It sounds like an illness, you know? It's like, oh, I got the curiosity. And it is the thing where when we play more, when we have fun, when we joke, when we be silly, um, yeah, it just it feels so good. And when I get into that place of the seriosity,
Mm,
I can feel my body just tighten up, and I don't like it anymore. But I know I lived in it for years,
yeah,
but
yeah.
uh,
Oh, I'm so grateful that you're not, that we're aware of it, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And that's, I guess, you know, i- in the early 2000s is when I really was like going, okay, I can't live like this anymore. You know, the
Mm,
regular everyday life stuff.
yeah,
Because it was dead in it, you know. I had a great job and family was thriving, husband, kids, big house, the things were good, income, all those things, and I was empty. Like
right.
I was feeling so like I had no purpose. Like, what's this all for? I was just, and of course, probably hitting perimenopause at that time as
Right.
well.
Which is common, I think, for people to
Yeah. I
have
think it was
that.
just waking
Hmm.
up to like, there's more to me. I'm more. And, it was the time of The Secret and all Dwayne Dyer and all them guys were like bringing out all
Right.
these like new thoughts and, Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor, all these guys were like out there, girls and, everyone.
Yeah.
And I ended up making a big changes in my life and thirsty for knowledge.
Mm,
And where do I
oh,
go? And what do I do? And just taking all the courses I could from everyone, from everywhere, investing time and money and energy and blah, 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 blah. And it was really the beginning of my spiritual journey at a deeper level of mm, like going to university, like going to Harry Potter University. We're just call that,
yeah. Yes.
books and courses and classes and retreats. And I traveled to everywhere, Sedona and Hawaii, and um, and then I met this wonderful mentor from Ireland and really steeped into the transformational cellular healing. And that unlocked a level of knowingness, I guess, that was dormant
Mm,
inside of me. And it started taking all of these modalities that I had really worked
uh,
at. And that was about 2007, 2008, I guess, was when I started traveling the world following my mentor and
yeah.
going to these places of deep trauma, former Yugoslavia and Turkey and uh, Bosnia and Northern Ireland, all these different places where deep trauma was in the land still, and learning to listen.
Mm,
And it grabbed all of my mm, medicine, gifts, magical ability, I don't know, whatever you want to call that, and mm, started bringing that whole system online that there wasn't any separation to it, that we could
mm,
access all of it.
yeah.
So, yeah, since then, I've just been devoted to like, oh my God, I got to get this out everywhere to everyone. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, kind of on a mission to make that
Yeah.
make that happen. As a lighthouse,
Wow.
my symbol is a lighthouse, so
Yes,
it's
that's
like,
right.
yeah.
I was thinking about that last night when I went to bed, knowing that we were doing this. And yeah, it's like Lighthouse Christine. But now I'm just even realizing it has so many more meanings, right? Because it's that there is this humor and laughter and lightness to it. Then there is this beacon of light. And then you think about what a house or a home provides, and you also so I think that I wonder, I'm going to ask you this question. When did that become your like symbol or word or
I I can't give you like a specific time, but it had come up in a deep meditative experience as well as a transformational retreat and workshop, a deep dive,
oh,
where, you know, I one of my favorite songs is This Little Light of Mine. And so I would always sing it. And I love the old gospel kind of way about it, Sam Cooke and This Little Light of Mine. And there
yeah.
was something about that where it's like, I'm going to let it shine. And one day I just dropped into a different state, I'll call it, when I was singing it. And that last note dropped into my body. And I seen my whole body turn into this huge big lighthouse and this beam going out. And I'm going, wow, like I how can I be that? How can I be that more? And I
Mhm.
started asking the presence of life, show
Wow.
me how I can be this and share this light with others. And support, guidance, and direction was what came through as the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to get into your boat and try and row your boat for you, but I can show you the way, you know.
Yeah.
I can share how to get over to them safe shores and
Mhm.
show the journey on the way. And I'm just going to hold the light for you while you navigate your journey. And And then after that, it just kind of stuck. And I started going,
Oh.
well, you just got to be the lighthouse. You just got to be the lighthouse. I'm not here to run your journey for you. I'm gonna just show the way. So
Wow,
I
that's
really,
beautiful.
I
And then
really
pretty
love
soon you
that.
started having lighthouse garden trinkets and a lot of
I actually started a company first years ago when I was trying to get a whole group of us healers together and guides and intuitives. It was called the Lighthouse Community. And that was my first
Oh,
business. And that was in
oh,
2008,
yeah.
the Lighthouse Community. And after a while, I figured out I don't want to have to be caring for everybody's work for them, but I would love
Right.
to. So I switched it to I just have to be the lighthouse and work and collaborate with others in such a way because we are a community no matter what. So
Yeah. And then that in that piece, you inspire people to also be a lighthouse or some sort of other figure where they're the guide, right?
yeah, a
Yeah.
beacon, a
Yeah.
birther of medicine,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
whatever that is.
that is so I mean, when we were talking about the lifestyle or whatever, I mean, I don't think I've ever just came over to your house for a cup of coffee without us not like pulling cards for each other or
Yeah.
like everything always turns into some sort of like it's like oh yeah, and then we talk about it and um so yeah, I just love that about you. And the thing that I find most amazing about the transformational cellular healing is there's been times where I'm like, I go and I'm like, nah, I don't really think I have anything to work on. And then you hit play on that device. And it is just, poof, it just opens up. And this is what I love about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I see it is that we don't really necessarily even know what's going on, you know? When we just trust that like something is happening and we don't know what, it just shifts like sometimes I'll hear the same song and it won't have any effect, on what's and the next time you press play and then I hear it's just like again, every cell in my body, everything is just opening up. And people are going around the circle and sharing their experience of that. And I'm just like, well, I came here thinking I had nothing, and here's this. It's wild.
I love it too. I love it too because I have, like I have so much deep honor, reverence, and respect for this work.
Mhm,
Uh, for me, it's active living mystic prayer. And
mhm,
it is alive. So of course it's going to be different every time. It's like a flowing river. Every time I put my foot in that river, it's going to be something different. And although we have the same framework, the same, mm, like the banks are there, the water's
yeah,
different every time. And I love how you say that. It's like, yeah, it affects me differently, even as a facilitator, because I'm not the same
mhm,
person I was last time I facilitated this,
yeah,
and nor will I ever be. And so it's that freshness of it. It's like,
mhm,
and some of it is like some deep stuff too, like
mhm,
crunchy, big, huge nuggets that have been in the way
yeah,
that need to be moved. And there's a divine timing in all of it. And so for those that don't really know, transformational cellular healing basically is we listen to music. It's not necessarily meditation. It's an activation of our own
mhm,
connection to the divine essence, presence that breathes us all. And then we sit together in sacred space, in deep listening space, to move, discover, and release everything that isn't beneficial, and then call in, activate, or bring healing to those places and spaces that are ready to be, uh, filled up with the most loving presence of light and love
mhm,
in a really safe way. So,
yeah,
uh, my devotion to that and to this work and to those that come and are also working on their own stuff, uh, it's essential to have just that deep respect, as you know, with your medicine practices as
yeah,
well. Like there's
yeah,
just, it's not of me. It's not even, it's, it's like literally, I just hold space for this to come in and work for all of us,
yeah,
and through all of us. And it's all of us. It's not just one of us.
mhm,
Yeah. That's why
yeah,
we sit in a circle at the same, um, that circle. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I always love that when you come and then you have your altar in the center. There always seems to be, and I think, you would say you're always divinely guided to set up your altar in the center, and you don't know why, but then all of a sudden people show up and the things on the altar mean something to them. And I love just seeing that, like, well, why did you put that thing on there today? Oh, well, that's a reminder for me. And then at the end, when we pull those cards, I think that's my favorite when everyone's just like, oh, like they're getting the validation for the thing that we might continue to need to work on. I always just love that. Even for myself, it's just like, oh.
Me too.
Okay, I got
But
it.
and sometimes though there is like, oh my gosh, this was exactly what I needed today. This is the inspiration that
Yes.
I needed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And that's the beautiful part is oftentimes I come and I might not even know might not even know the people in the circle. Other times I will know people. Um, but it's always just the perfect the like you say, the right timing, the right space, the right people show up. And yeah, you hold that space beautifully as well. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Leslie. I
Yeah.
also learn from, I'm a constant, continual student as well. So when I come and sit in sacred meditation tent with you, like, like
Yeah.
I, I take that in. It's not something that I just am doing willy-nilly. It's because I want to sit with others that hold that reverence for life like you do,
Yeah.
Leslie. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is so important as well is that we all have to remember that sometimes we need to be held. And I know that's sometimes something I forget, where I go into this mode of like doing, the work for others or doing my own work. But I forget that sometimes I need to go and I just need to land. And so I am grateful that I have those, handful of people, which you are one, where it's like, and I think that's the thing for me is you've been that constant reminder sometimes of like tap tap tap, Lesley, you don't got to do it alone. And it's like, right, right. So and the fact that the same thing for you, right, is there's been times where you're just like off and you're doing this and this and this and you've been gone away on, a lot of your retreat stuff, and then when you come to the tent you say, yeah, I just need to show up just to be held. Like, I don't need to be the facilitator right now. I
Yeah.
need to be the student. And I think that's the hugest message for people too, is one, I'm also a student in my birth year medicine, just like you're a participant in your transformational circles. Cause like, it's not like you just pull out and go, well, I'm the teacher here. No, you're part of that. And the moment I think we do kind of pull out and think that we are uh, um, the teacher or and we
Mm.
forget that we're also the student. Um, yeah, we got to come back in.
Well, that's that staying humble
Yeah.
to life. Like honestly, there's no
Hmm.
way that I will ever know what this divine whole, architecture is all about. There's no way, but I can work on my own part of this tapestry, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now, right now, we're at a huge crossroads in humanity, and what is being asked? How can I show up more? So when you said, do you want to do this? Part of me wanted to stay hidden and just keep it like in this small little space, but
Hmm.
that's not what my message and guidance was say yes, show up and share that there's this light of hope for
Hmm.
what we're becoming as a consciousness, this unified consciousness of, oh, the
Hmm.
potentials are just, oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And to keep that lightness of heart and that hope alive for now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing for wanting to do this. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe 10 people see it, maybe one person sees it, maybe eventually 500 people see it. But I want people to start to see that there is these beautiful people out there that are sharing their medicine, that are sharing their magic, who I am. I mean, for many years I just hid, and I'm just like, let's just be raw, let's just show up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that is a space of bringing some of this lightness to the world when maybe people are spending too much time looking at the other stuff that's going on. It's like, yeah, but guess what? There's some really great things happening here too. And let's get that out there instead of just in our little groups. Um, start to ripple that out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you for you.
Yeah. Thanks to the spirit for the message while I was sitting on the couch being like, hey, why don't you do this? You got the like, okay, sure, let's do it.
I love
Oh.
also where you're at. It's like wash, dry, fold. I love this and it's true though. It's like that it's part of the wash myself clean, put myself out into the sun or into the heat to dry, and you know, present and fold or bring that out
Yeah.
like
I know. I
it's
never thought
perfect.
about that. I never thought about that. Um, I think this is one thing that you bring this up. You know, if I never would have invited, if I never would have taken that meditation training, and then invited a few women over to my basement where the walls were just vapor barrier and the cement was just floor. If I never would have said, just do it, I wouldn't be here. And so this room is sort of a representation of that, is that sense of like, I don't need to have the perfect background and my hair perfect and the lighting perfect and a script perfect. Just do it. Just start. Just say yes because you never know. And I still had a woman in December saying, "Remember back in like 2014, we were in your basement. It was just cement floor." And yeah, like I thought I had to have this perfect place. No. What needed to be done needed to be done. It didn't matter about what the external looked like.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Never
Before
about
we
that.
go, do you have because usually in summer you have some retreats. Do you have some stuff coming
I
up that
do. I
okay,
do have some things coming up. So stay tuned. In July, I'll be doing like a 2-day summer retreat
yeah,
here out in Strathcona County in Sherwood Park. And then I am bringing a group of people to Ireland at the end of September, from September 19th to 28th. It's a
sweet.
10-day journey through, sorry, a 9-day journey through Ireland, culminating in a transformational workshop. And of course, I've got my monthly workshops
Right.
as well, and I teach meditation on an ongoing
Perfect.
basis. So, just
Perfect.
some of the
Yeah.
things. I also walk with people on their transformational journey in their lives and how to support them on their own little journey. And I plan on shining through the stormy
Hmm.
waters to get you safely to shore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I know that that has been a thing. There was the group things, and then there was that period in my life where I was going through a lot of stuff. And again, I needed someone as like to be that light and just hold space for me as I could come through that. And so those one-on-one sessions with you with that transformational healing was like so important during those
yeah.
times. So yeah, if anyone's watching this, and I'll put your website and
Oh,
Instagram and
perfect.
stuff in the notes so people can find you as well. But and I'm sure they will because the Bermuda Triangle of Healers will call them in.
Yes, it will.
Well, thank you for this.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting me. I'm so honored and grateful that I get to walk this journey with you. You're you're an inspiration, Lesley, and I just wish you like the
yeah.
best year ahead. And yeah,
You too. I'm grateful that I am in circle with many people with the same qualities.
yeah.
Oh, perfect.